Good afternoon and welcome to the Midday News. Here's what we have in the bulletin. 2 students killed in motor vehicle crash in Clarendon. St. James vendors warned to shape up or face prosecution. And later in sports, reggae girls to play second friendly with South Africa tonight in Montego Bay. Thank you for joining us. I'm Shamela Pula and here are the details. 2 students are dead and several others injured after a motor vehicle crash on the Bustamante Highway in Clarendon this morning. The incident, which happened in the Foga Road area, involved a Toyota Probox taxi and a Subaru. According to reports, the taxi driver was attempting to evade a transport authority team when he collided with a Subaru.
I am shocked. I was actually in another area dealing with an urgent matter when a member of the council called me to say there is a big accident. If you notice, I'm not even dressed for work as yet. I just left home to go and deal with that issue. Then I heard about this one. It's as a young, the situation is young. I'm trying to get whatever information I can. DSP Brown is on the scene. Number of other police officers were not able yet to get a full grasp of what the situation is or what would have caused this accident. So as the day goes on, I think I'll be in a better position to give you a further update as I get further information. But my understanding is that 2 students would have died in the accident.
Taxi drivers are expressing outrage and frustration with the Transport Authority team, alleging that their high-speed pursuit of the taxi driver led to the crash.
Everybody a thief. Everybody a bad man. We are random people. Yeah, what kind of power you have? What kind of power you gain? That's your random people. Hey? You can't afraid of police, you can't afraid of government. That's what we are here. You can't afraid of people. And you can't afraid of children and nobody. And one life. We are one life.
Meanwhile, Mayor Williams says it's a sad day in the parish, especially with other crashes in recent times.
I have a concern because we were trending down as it relates to the number of accidents this year. And with this accident and the one you're now telling me about in St, it is a concern. And I want to just use this opportunity to ask those drivers on the road going down into Christmas to take your time to utilize the road properly. Right? And let us finish the year end with less incident than we had last year and save some more lives.
Still in Clarendon, 2 people were killed in a 2-vehicle collision. According to reports, the driver of a Mark X was overtaking a line of traffic around 7 p.m. along the Dawkins Pen main road when the vehicle attempted to get back in line. However, it collided with an oncoming Probox motor car traveling in the opposite direction. Both drivers were pinned in their vehicles and had to be cut free by firefighters. They were taken to hospital where they were pronounced dead. Their identities have not yet been released. And a motorcyclist died Sunday afternoon after colliding with a car on the Burnt Savannah Main Road in St. Elizabeth. Roland Foster, 39, a laborer from the area, was traveling in the same direction as the car when it made a turn, causing the collision. Mr. Foster was thrown from his bike into a fence and later died at the hospital. Vice Chairman of the National Road Safety Council, Dr. Lucian Jones, has expressed concern over the alarming start to December, marked by multiple road crashes and fatalities within the first 48 hours. Dr. Jones cites several worrying factors causing the surge in accidents.
Thank God we are below the 393 from last year. But the start of December is alarming. I know the police have special plans for December, Hopefully, they will be released sometime this week. And the National Road Safety Council also is pursuing some initiatives to try and deal with the expected surge during the month of December.
Dr. Jones warns that the trend does not do well for the country.
The problem is that during December, traditionally, and unfortunately, there's a surge in the number of people who die on our roads. We have to pull out every step to make sure that this does not happen this December. The speeding, the drinking and driving, the smoking, ganja and driving, the use of cell phones without a hands-free instrument and driving, watching videos and driving, not wearing your seatbelt, not wearing your helmet, not wearing light colored clothes at nights, careless overtaking. All of these things will contribute to a surge in the number of fatalities during December.
The major organized crime and anti-corruption agency has charged the Jamaica Defense Force soldier, 25-year-old Garrick Lewis, in connection with a phishing scam that defrauded the National Commercial Bank of over $47 million. Lewis was charged with several offenses, including acquisition of criminal property and receiving stolen property. The online phishing scam was between April and June 2022. His suspected accomplice, Ramon Thompson, 33, was also charged. A group of male professionals in Clarendon have volunteered to help improve the lives of boys at the Mineral Heights Primary School. It comes amid concerns over the ongoing underperformance of boys and men in the country. The details in this report.
Military and police personnel on either flank of students at the Mineral Heights Primary. The men in uniform are not there to just provide security. Along with other male professionals, they will also provide mentorship for the boys at the school. And based on what the ministry's education officers are seeing in the parish with the boys' performances, the program is perfectly timed. The mentorship program is not just to help boost academic output, but also to help guide male students away from destructive distractions.
Our society is taken over by a proliferation of gangs. And so now we hear the National Security Minister saying, boy, we have to dismantle the gangs, we have to dismantle the gangs. And in one community have 50 gangs. Boys, we don't have a giant gang.
For clergyman Reverend Othman Morgan, the initiative to help these boys is a reminder of the wider problem in society. Enough men are not advancing professionally to the detriment of the country.
It is an indictment on our society. Not that our women are not doing well, and I appreciate their work and worth, but we should have men in charge. And so something has to be done to make certain that our boys see men in certain roles and as role models.
He pointed to the church as further proof of the situation, where he says most Christian women have relationships with men who are not Christians.
When you are married to persons who are not of the same faith or don't believe in what you believe, there can be challenge in the family, and then there's a breakdown. So we really need to have our men in our schools, in our churches, and we have to do something radical at this juncture.
For him, the best outcomes will be seen when we fix the family structure, which serves as the foundation for molding the ideal citizen. Dwayne Anderson, TVJ News.
It's time for a break. Stay with us. More stories when we return. Welcome back to the Midday News. The Jamaica Teachers Association is urging educators to take care of their mental well-being. Speaking at a recent meeting, JTA President Dr. Mark Smith told teachers that before a transformative impact can be made, they must first take care of themselves.
The reality is, we need some time, an outlet to speak about, and I encourage you to take your mental health seriously. You have days for a reason. We thought you think a disease when a person, listen, if you're in this service, 40 days with pay, I mean, of course, there's a breakdown, Mr. Meek had spoken to it. 40 days with full pay, 40 days with half pay. In a system that you think that it is a benevolence of government that gave us that? It was fought for by the JTA. We can put your hands together for the JTA.
He also encouraged the educators to pay close attention to their lifestyle choices.
Fast food on a whole is not healthy, so we have to start to look at our lifestyle choices. Colleagues, serious talk. And after hearing the director of the Cancer Society talk to me about many people waiting too long to do their mammograms, and if they find as small as a pin, the top of a pinhead, and if you can get it identified at that level, they often can prevent the cancer, right? It's a lot more expensive to treat. And also in my program and the program for the JTA for this year, I've looked at us working with companies within the space, insurance space, to provide critical illness support. We also have the critical illness fund that we have provided. And it's all to ensure your well-being and support.
The renovation of the Onota Bay Health Center in St. Mary is completed. The project cost $120 million Jamaican dollars. According to Regional Director of the Northeast Regional Health Authority, Fabia Lam, the entire area has been given a much-needed upgrade.
There was electrical repairs and upgrades with the installation of lightning arresters and grounding systems, installation of air conditioning units, renovations to the waiting area. Some work was done at medical records and at the bathrooms. We did asphaltic works here in the parking lot. We created covered walkways which didn't exist before. There was total rehabilitation to the plumbing and sewage system because with the sea, the entire plumbing system was filled with sand.
This renovation is a welcome relief for health workers and patients who have been complaining about the poor infrastructure for years.
You now have a better facility to do your work, to take care of your patients. And your patients have a better environment to come into with their trauma and their stress. Because healthcare is about soothing trauma, stress, distress, and bringing relief to people. That's what we do. That's the business we're in. And I keep telling people that therapy must start at the gate.
St. James vendors are being warned to shape up or face prosecution. Stakeholders in the parish convened a meeting recently with vendors to address several pressing issues. The gathering was prompted by ongoing concerns about improper waste disposal and food handling practices among some vendors. Despite previous warnings, some continue to store garbage and waste in an unsanitary manner, posing health risks to consumers.
What we find a lot of time when we're out there sweeping in the mornings, you will see like the chicken foot bone in the drain, right? And that is not good. Because as my colleague said, you will encourage rodents to take over the city, and then that becomes a bigger problem for your health, for my health, for your customers' health, and for our family and children, right? So, as business people, we have to be more responsible with how we take care of the space within which we operate.
Additionally, some vendors were found to be operating without a food handler's permit, a clear breach of public health regulations. The meeting served as a stern warning to non-compliant vendors who were put on notice that they will face prosecution if they fail to adhere to the relevant regulations.
If you contravene any aspect of any regulation or law or act, you are liable by summary convictions, and you will be called up to appear in the parish court. This is saying that if you're found guilty, you will pay a fine not exceeding $1 million.
Mayor of Montego Bay, Richard Vernon, emphasized the importance of vending management and why it is critical for vendors to abide by the regulations.
If we want to survive in this space, if we want this space, if you want persons to come and do business with you, they must feel safe in the space. And if there is no organization and if the space looks chaotic, people are not going to come into the space. If the space is nasty and dirty, people are not going to come into the space.
It's now time for the Business Minute.
The Statistical Institute of Jamaica, Statin, is reporting that the unemployment rate was 3.6% in July and the underemployment rate was 5%. The country's data collections agency also says a total of 1.46 million people were in the labor force during the month, and the number of people employed stood at 1.4 million. Further afield, tens of thousands of Volkswagen workers are set to strike Monday. Union leaders in Germany say workers at a number of plants across the country are participating. It's considered to be the largest strike in the company's domestic operations since 2018. The walkouts follow tense talks over pay cuts and possible plant closures. And that's it for the Business Minute. I'm Carrie Simpson.
Time now for the top regional and international stories.
In the region, Prime Minister Mia Amor Motley marked Barbados' 58th independence and third year as a republic by urging citizens to reflect on past sacrifices and work together for a prosperous future. She appealed to young people to embrace peace and praise the Barbados-US relationship, citing a $500 million agreement for renewable energy and infrastructure development. On the international scene, Joe Biden pardoned his son Hunter Biden on Sunday, reversing his previous stance. Hunter, convicted of federal attacks on gun offenses, will now avoid sentencing. The pardon covers any potential federal crimes from January 1, 2014 to December 1, 2024. The move has sparked criticism, particularly from Donald Trump, who called it a miscarriage of justice. And those were the top regional and international stories. I'm Kelisha Williams.
Thank you, Kelisha. We take another break. Midday Sports is next.